Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Sacred Geography, and Shinrin Yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Friday, May 19th, around 8 p.m. Mountain Time 2023. Earlier today, a magnitude 7.7 earthquake caused a small tsunami on the South Pacific Islands. And the sun has gone ballistic, over a dozen M flares in the last 36 hours. Keep calm. It's boom time. Severe thunderstorm watches issued in the heartland of Texas ahead of the threat of large hail and damaging winds. That was happening today and this evening as severe weather to keep pounding parts of the U.S. into the
northern
weekend.
metro area soaked and residents bracing for the next.
Let's take a look at this. Rain and hail nearly submerged cars in Longmont, Colorado.
Round of spring storms. Fox 31 Shaw Turner keeping a close eye on conditions for us up there in the Pinpoint Weather Beast and joining us live here at night. Shaw.
Hey, Jeremy, I jumped out of the Beast to show you guys what's happening on the ground. Look at the consistency of this hail. Now, Sean Sinkowitz is going to take us down to the ground here and show us the accumulation still here after all of these storms. Now, there was a lot of flooding, a lot of clogged drains. Check this out.
Went all the way up to the more than half the yard.
These cars nearly submerged in water and hail.
It just floods from the bottom. I mean, the water doesn't know where to go.
Herbe Del Val tells Fox 31 nearby drains clog over and over again.
I know they cleaned it last time, but it's just so much water.
The same thing happened last week.
I woke up Monday morning and my car's flooded.
I just got here from Florida. Water that accumulated in like 5 minutes.
The Pinpoint Weather Beast traveling along I-76 near Brighton when dark clouds appeared. Traffic slowed as hail fell from the sky.
I personally actually waited. I didn't drive in it.
Now,
So we do have some severe weather. That was an interesting storm of a pop-up hailstorm that buried a car. And here is how difficult it is to actually predict weather. I'm going to show you two summer outlooks from two pretty reliable sources, the Weather Channel, and this is NOAA's outlook, and they're completely opposite. According to the Weather Channel, this summer outlook could be the coolest since 2017. But central U.S. is likely to be hotter than average. So here's the temperature outlook for June through August, where you can see it's going to be well below normal for the California coast and the mid-Atlantic. Here's the outlook for June alone. There's a huge swath of the country, specifically the south here, well below normal, including the southwest. And the outlook for July, cool in the west, cool in the mid-Atlantic. And August, cool in the west and cool in the mid-Atlantic. So that is the Weather Channel's summer outlook. Now, NOAA is showing the exact opposite. It's going to be warm in the mid-Atlantic anyway. So that shows you how much confidence we place on weather forecasting. Here is the full forecast. Air quality concerns continue for the center of the nation. Heavy rainfall and severe weather threats for the southern plains. Air quality and reduced visibilities continue for the center of the nation due to upstream wildfires. Severe weather accompanied by heavy rainfall will affect the southern plains into the lower Mississippi Valley today. Record-breaking high temperatures across portions of the west and the Pacific Northwest today through Saturday, with locally heavy rain in Hawaii, American Samoa, and Guam. Holy macaroni. Let's take a look at the smoke map, shall we? Here we are over at firesmoke.ca/forecast/current. And you can see the smoke is inundating the lower 48 through the weekend. Here's the 20th. Yeah, it is going to be smoky. Now, Leah's going to be taking a trip up here to Top Knot's boyhood home, and they should be smoked out at least on Saturday. So there is the smoke forecast. Friday, here, let's just bring this back. This is hard to manipulate. There's Friday, and there's your Saturday. And this will be ending towards Sunday. So by Sunday, smoke will be in Philadelphia, New York, Boston, and the Northeast. Like a beast. As well as this 7.7 magnitude earthquake. Quite a large rumbler. Now, good news, it was way in the middle of nowhere. The Loyalty Islands. And not even near New Caledonia. So, lots of aftershocks from this large event. Small tsunami was felt for a couple of regions. Let's see what they have to say. A 7.7 magnitude earthquake caused a small tsunami to wash ashore on the South Pacific Islands Friday. No damage was reported, and the threat passed within a few hours. The waves were 60 centimeters or 2 feet above tidal level and were measured off Lenikel, a port town in Vanuatu. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center said. Smaller waves were measured by coastal or deep ocean gauges elsewhere off Vanuatu and off New Caledonia, and even down in New Zealand. So, big quake happening north of New Zealand. And as we look at the seismic picture overall, no quakes of note. We do have some activity here in the Gulf of Aden at M5.7. Ooh, take a look at that. Interesting rumbler up here in Walbridge, Ohio, coming in at 2.6 magnitude. Now on with the Space Weather News Report. Here we are over at Solarham. Let's take a look at the latest HMI intensity. And that will give us an idea of just what these sunspots are looking like right now. Huge sunspot region that's been quite active. Most of the M flares coming from here. And we have another large complex region down here. Both of these will be facing directly Earth in 3 to 5 days. And none of the M flares as of yet have produced any coronal mass ejections headed our way. The BZ component of the interplanetary magnetic field passing past Earth via the solar wind has been pointing south. Active geomagnetic conditions, KP4, is being observed. So we had a switch in the BZ, which is lighting up the aurora. So if you're up in Canada tonight and the skies are clear, get out and look up for that aurora watch, as we have just been pushed up into aurora territory. And at least 9 of the M flares in the last 24 hours, of which were centered around the newly assigned region AR3311, the largest event being an M5.3, none of the flares appear to have generated coronal mass ejections. Good news for us. And here we can look at the telemetry from Discover Solar Wind showing that calm, all quiet for days, and now the BZ shifting, phi angle has shifted, and the density increasing, which is going to increase the speed as well. So that is giving us that little bit of geomagnetic push. And the forecast now showing KP4 or 5. No, it's not. It's showing it right here, but it's not actually showing it on the detailed forecast. Quite interesting. So we may have some aurora tonight. Get out and look up. And it's a great time to look up because it's the new moon, and there will be no pollution from that big glowing ball of the moon. Now, a Mexican volcano known as El Popo or Popocatépetl rumbles, canceling school in the area, 22 million at risk. The nearly 18,000-foot volcano has been spewing toxic fumes persistently for the last 30 years, and there was a little uptick that we reported on yesterday. The interesting thing about this article is it tells you a little bit about all the people at risk. How do you explain all of this to 25 million people living within a 62-mile radius of the volcano, that they could be in harm's way? And in fact, Popo has erupted in large fashion in the past, VEI 4 and 5, multiple events in the Holocene. But recently only erupting at VEI 2 or 3. A VEI 3 back in 1996 did turn deadly for many folks. So we could see a large event here and a portion of the cinder cone blown off, and there are millions, tens of millions of people at risk from this volcano. Another volcano putting people at risk is Karangitang, and the alert level was just raised today to level 3. After almost 1 month since the local volcano institute decreased the alert status for the volcano, activity started to rise again over the past 2 weeks, and the alert level was pushed back up to 3. And as you can see, Karangitang has been erupting ongoing since 2018. And it's not particularly dangerous or explosive. I'll bring you over here to it's over here in Indonesia. Here you can see the largest eruptions in recent memory, 2010 at VEI 3 and 1999 at VEI 3, but nothing higher than that in the entire historical context. Now, granted, that only goes back to 1675. So it's been erupting at VEI 3 since 1675. The alert level has been raised, and we will be keeping a close eye on Popo as well as Karangitang. Now, have you heard Dr. Roy Spencer has come out and said that mainstream media's claim that a new study shows Earth has been trapping heat at an alarming rate has absolutely no scientific basis. Thank you, Cap Allen, for publishing this report over at Electroverse. And we will link you below to the entire report on the false claims from the mainstream media. What else is new? Did you know that Arctic ice extent, for example, is some of the highest in the last 10 years? Nobody's talking about that. The Arctic sea ice area is the largest Arctic ice area in over a decade. So those are the facts. And here's some more facts for you. We need to rethink the universe and all of cosmology. Astronomers are disturbed by the expected scale of James Webb galaxies. Yeah. The first results from the James Webb Space Telescope have hinted at galaxies so early and so massive that there are in tension with our understanding of the formation of structure in the universe. Various explanations have been proposed that may alleviate this tension, but now a new study from the Cosmic Dawn Center suggests an effect that has never before been studied, such as early epochs, indicating that the galaxies may be even more massive and completely unexplainable. So, the universe may not have been born from a Big Bang. It certainly may not be 15 billion or 14.8 billion years old, because we're finding galaxies that appear to be that old alone all the way at the beginning of the so-called universe. And that's a boom, the knowledge. Please share this video, as we are shadow banned and we need your help to grow. Become a Patreon, support the work we do. For as little as $1 a month, you can watch all of our videos commercial free. And be safe. We love you. And that is a boom.